Welcome to Insights. I'm Eric. I want to follow up the Bitcoin reviews with a discussion about the primary trend in our trading discipline, evolution of trade, but using that to guard against what I consider to be hedge forecasts. If price does this, it could do that. I'm not sure. Bitcoin needs to explode to the upside, but if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. Those are informational sources. If you don't recognize a hedge call as being an information source, you tend to look at them as a means of framing your own bullish or bearish biases. And what we're going to do is discuss Bitcoin in terms of the evolution of the trade, so we look past those types of forecasts. I mean, those types of forecasts are really, they're not beneficial. Maybe they are used to generate clicks and get people interested, but it doesn't help the individual trying to manage their position over time. Bitcoin's position inside the matrix is here, and it's been up for 7 months. So we've been trading it for 7 months and a 200% profit. The time frames here are monthly, weekly, and daily. The price and time cycles are right here, and they're all negative and below zero, which means these are early trends. It's early in the primary, it's early in the secondary, everything's still black and negative. The concern with Bitcoin rises in the daily trend. The daily trend is showing price and time cycles that are red and above zero. And the most concerning of the two is the time cycle, which is nearly 4 standard deviations at 68 days. That's a long time. I mean, this is probably one of the longest daily impulses within the history of GBTC, which doesn't have a long history. I backdated and created it a little bit longer than it was originally trading. A computer likes to see decades worth of data to know what the cycles are, but for our purposes of what we're estimated, or we're using to estimate, this is an extended cycle. And then when you frame that against an energy build that's deteriorating, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, expecting an upside explosion is not something that you can play. The play for Bitcoin at this point with these types of extension is waiting for a reset of the daily trend against the weekly and monthly, or the reset of the daily and weekly, depending on how deep the correction is, where the uptrend goes down and then comes back up, and then the restoration of up realigns the triple alignment and you get a reset. So that's the only play you can do. There's nothing like there's no call. There's no call for continuation, and you can't call for a deep correction either. You can either it's what you're doing with the core position. The core position is held, but you're under the expectation that the setup is becoming more dangerous, and there's no way you should chase this. You should be watching the daily cycles evolve, and to do that, we can frame it within energy, and this is the energy chart of Bitcoin. And I'm going to show you here in a moment that this is starting to get a little bit concerning. This is bullish energy up here, and this is bearish down here. So we're still on the bullish side, but what's concerning is what took place last week. The Bitcoin tracker actually fell in price, a fairly decent drop. And normally the invisible hand accumulates or buys the decline in a market that's ready to run to higher highs. And that would be shown by a DI reading, say from 50, it would increase to 60, 70, 80. That's an increase. But what happened was DI fell from 55 to 15, which is actually a pretty large decrease. That suggests the invisible hand was distributing as the price was dropping, and that's not a supportive of continuation. It's not enough to act on because it doesn't matter. The evolution of the trade says hold the primary trend, prepare for a consolidation, and wait for a reset to play and to act. But until then, you're just watching our core positions, and we're going to watch energy. But this development here is troublesome over the short term. It doesn't help that the daily cycles are extended as well at nearly 4 standard deviations. So really the visual play is within the primary trend, and I'm going to show this quickly before I end the review. We bought the flip when the box first turned green, and perhaps we bought another one or escalated it when it turned green again. One or the other. This is either one continuous box or 2 separate boxes. The green boxes tend to last this long, at least the computer believes it does, even though the cycles, it doesn't fully understand the cycles yet because this data series is too short. But what we're going to be waiting now for is a play to re-enter and re-escalate or escalate the core position. And in the green boxes, there's little hiccups. They're either flat or they're curled downs. They're sharp corrections. If you see that and energy builds within those flat lines or those little curls in the uptrend in the green box and there's an energy build, that favors continuation. It will likely correspond to a reset within the daily. Those are the things that you want to buy. So in framing of the evolution of the trade relative to, well, prices either has to explode to the upside or it needs to come down. I don't know. We'll see. I'd be happy if it does either one. I mean, that's not trading discipline, and I'm not sure it's designed as being positioned as trading discipline. But as investors scanning and surfing the internet, it can be dangerous information, information that you see in snippets without a firm, repeatable discipline will cause you to act impulsively. Oh, he said explode to the upside, or this person said that. I'm going to see what I want to see. I want to see the bullish argument, or a sharp correction is inevitable. That's what I'm going to latch onto. The fact is there's nothing to latch onto. That's what, but you can't, that kind of communication point, it doesn't sell. I mean, you're on the internet saying, oh, the play is nothing. Yes, the play is nothing. The play has been nothing since the primary trend flipped. And the primary trend has flipped 7 months ago, and we've made 207% on it so far. But there's no play here today. There's no play tomorrow, not until something actionable shows up within the evolution of the trade. That actionable will be a reset. A reset could be 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away, several months. It really depends on what the invisible hand does as price declines. So that's the point of this review. It's just to keep you on board with the strict discipline, investment discipline. Don't look for pieces of information. You need a computer to follow the primary trend, to follow the energy builds. The matrix does that. So if the people who aren't trading Bitcoin and subscribe, I'd suggest that you follow it just like any other market. It's just as profitable. If not, every market has its sweet spot and every market has its rewards. And the evolution of the trade works the same for Bitcoin as it does for, the oil stocks or oil or natural gas or coffee. I mean, they're all the same. The discipline's exactly the same. But you have to guard yourself off from chasing bits of information that are out there on the internet. So if you have any questions about how we go through this or how the evolution of the trade works or what you've seen here and watched today, contact me directly either through the blog or through an email. You can also write some comments in the video below. If it's spam, you can disregard that. That's a waste of time, but I'm sure it's coming anyways. You have any more questions, and I would encourage you to subscribe to the Matrix. It will change the trading discipline that you think you have. And if you're a well-disciplined trader, I'm sure there's pieces of it that you haven't seen quite yet. Energy is a very unique concept that I think most people have no idea exists. It's one of the things that helps trends breathe in and breathe out. So energy is, I find that most people who subscribe to this quickly latch onto that and say, gee, I didn't even know that worked like that. But that's something, everything has their own discovery. So if you're new to this and even found Bitcoin and never traded it, watch these videos and contact me directly. We can talk about it. You can become a Bitcoin trader just like anything else. So thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.